Well, I'm still giving the cows hay. We haven't had any rain since Hurricane Fred came in over a week ago. I've been doing some pretty intense rotationals on them, sometimes twice a day, but at least once a day since then. But it's not really keeping up, so I've been feeding them some hay too. But today, also, I'm gonna drain this water trough and clean it out. I actually found a dead bird in here, and I've been meaning to clean it out for a while, so hoping I can take that drain out, but we shall see. So let me go turn the water off and get some tools. All right, I've sprayed the bung with some WD-40, letting it loosen up. I got the water turned off. Funny story, last time I used this gate, I didn't latch it back, and these idiots got out, and I spent hours. I was actually taking a nap to go to work that night, and my neighbor called and said, "Your cows are out." And I was like, oh God, come out here, and the gate was open, and these heifers were all the way across the street, like at least a half mile from here, and the black cow, Oreo, was the only one I was able to, she was actually in the field right here beside, and I lowered her back in with the bucket. And then these other four idiots followed me like halfway back with the bucket, but then we got up next to my neighbor's fence, which is on the other side of these pine trees, and he's got cows, and his cows came out. Well, they decided they didn't want to go any further. So long story short, we were able to get them in his field, in his fence. I worked them around the fence edge till we got to a gate and got them in there, and then we were able to load them up on his livestock trailer and bring them back up here. So there you go. So let's try not to do that today and drain this water tank. Well, I thought it was going to be dramatic, but I just put this punch in here and gave it a little twist, and it came loose. So let's get these tools up. Put them back in the golf cart. And now let's drain this bad boy. Oh, there we go. And we're gonna have a nice mud hole right here, but you guys will probably like that, won't you? So it's draining. This thing has an O-ring, and the O-ring broke, so I think I got an O-ring kit out at the shop. So I'll have to go and check while it's draining. Y'all be all right? Y'all stay cool. Of course, y'all wasn't drinking, but now if you see something going on, you want to come over here and try to get a drink. Well, you just have to wait. I would say the chances of them knocking this barrel over, this trough over, before I get back are about 50-50. They're gonna come in here, try to stick your old heads down in there and get a drink, and knock it over like you normally do. We'll see. Well, they didn't knock it over, but I'm going to. Let's tip this thing over and get it washed out. It's pretty nasty. We'll get it washed out though. All right, we're filling it back up. See how good our bunghole holds. You know, sometimes the bunghole don't hold that good. Well, we filled up over the top of the bung there, and it looks like it's holding. So all we gotta do is let it fill up, put the float valve back on. These girls will be drinking again. While I'm waiting on that, I'm gonna take the old clippers here and trim some of these weeds back. And last chore of the day, shoveling poop. Fun fact, I grew up on a dairy farm, and they had a pretty big barn lot, and every day we would have to shovel shit. And when I was real young, we used to put it in a wheelbarrow. My uncle would take it down into the field with a wheelbarrow, like 200 yards out into the field, and dump it and bring the wheelbarrow back, and we'd fill it up again. And then later on, he ended up getting a tractor with a front end loader, but he wouldn't let us drive it. He would follow us around, point out piles of manure, and we'd have to shovel them. So I swear when I was a kid, I told myself, I'm not gonna be shoveling poop when I'm an adult. Well, it's a good way to start a Monday morning. I just got home from work and I was calling my cows and one of them wasn't coming, and I came down here and looked for her, and it looked like she'd come through the fence, and the middle strand here is knocked down. So I don't know where it's, this one is hot. This strand is hot. Let's see how far down it goes. Looks like it come loose here at the tensioner. It looks like it broke. There's the other half of the tensioner. And it's probably got everything grounded out. So I'm gonna have to go up here and lock them up and come down here and try to fix it. All right, back to the barn. Well, I'm just gonna have to lock them up in the barn lot because I gotta get the golf cart and load up my fencing material and drive down there and fix this fence. That's the one right there, the white face. So I'm gonna close this gate, which will lock them into this barn lot, and give them a bale of hay to keep them occupied. I'll have to go get the cart and tools and stuff. Hold my latch here and then go get the stuff to fix this fence. Turn it off. I'll be back. All right. That'll keep me occupied. I've been on the same paddock for about 2 days. I'm sure they've eaten it down pretty good, but that one's a real troublemaker. She's the only reason I put this electric fence up, because she kept getting out, or put the electric fence here in the barn lot. I was always going to electrify the main field, but she's still getting out. We gotta let the dog out first, don't we, Rhett Butler? Don't we? You gotta get busy. You gotta tell him. To get busy. He don't listen either. All right, we got the fencing supplies and the tools loaded up. They're still eating. We gotta go out one gate and in another. Let's knock it out. So this loop broke. I thought maybe the cramp had slipped, but it broke. I'm probably gonna have to go get a piece of fence and scab onto this one up at the barn lot. All right, back to the barn. Let's see if we can dig a piece out here. I don't want to reach over this electric fence too much, so I'll just grab whatever I can get. This will be fine. We don't need but a short piece. All right, back to the field. All right. Oh, cut that. Cut this off. I've got some cutters, but they're at the shop. Slide on a couple of these. Get on there. Bend us a loop. Try to slide these. Come on. Onto here. They got grit inside them, these crimps. They make it a little harder to get on, but you got the idea. Then we crimp the crimps, which takes a little bit of effort. Come on, let it loose. Got them crimped. Now we got to do the same thing on the other side, but we got to loop it through there first, and then we'll reattach everything and tighten it up. So there's our repair joint. It'll pull tight when I pull everything tight. We got to do it on the other side and ratchet her down. We'll be done. Okay, here's what our final piece we added in looks like, and then I got to tighten up the old tensioner here. I got just enough spare, I think, to tighten it up. And we'll have to come back and check it. And I'm gonna go ahead and check the rest of these. And I know I've got a insulator down there on that side that needs to be replaced. Has been needed to be replaced for a while. So we're gonna tension up this section. I got a tensioner there, tensioner here, another one down there somewhere. And then hopefully we'll be done. So here's a spot where we got a couple of bad ones. This one's falling off, this one's broke, this one's gonna break. And these were all used that I got with the fence. And this one down here on the very top, and I don't know if you can see it, it's already broken, gone. When I replace them with these. They're easier to get on and off as far as replacing. So we're gonna replace at least these 3 with these. All right, we made those repairs up there. I'm just riding along the edge of the fence to see how this looks, and then we got to move them to that far paddock today and let them back out of the barn lot. We're getting some rain now. What's left over the hurricane? Which one? Ida? Whichever one just in New Orleans. So that's the one that gets out all the time, a white-faced cow. And she was out again this morning. And come to find out, sometime last night, I guess, what had happened is I had a corner post here on the temporary fence. And it was pulled pretty tight on a 90 against one of them step-in posts. And I guess it rained. We had about a little bit more than a ½ inch, 6 or 7 tenths yesterday. And either the cows bumped it or the ground softened up enough and it pulled it out. So the solar fence arced out all night, grounded out all night with the temporary wire laying on the ground. So when I got here this morning, it didn't have any juice on it. She was out. I'm not sure where she got out. So, yeah. So I flew to Tractor Supply and I bought me another electric fence charger, which is this one, the solar one is like 0.15 joules. That one's like 1.6. According to the tester, this one never had more than like 2,000 volts on it. That new one I've already installed has like 7,000 on it. It should light them up. So I'm getting rid of the solar one, and I am relocating everything to inside the barn. I finally got the electrical run, all that stuff. So right now I'm using the fence post puller to pull out these ground rods. I've already pulled one. It's laying there on the ground. And the first stroke is a little tough, but once you get it moving, it's pulling out, and then chain slips down, get another stroke on it. So I'm gonna pull these ground rods up, and I'm gonna drive them inside the barn and move the controller to inside the barn, and then run power from inside the barn out to the fence. I got it temporary right now where I can temporarily hook this up to the new controller. Probably what I'm gonna have to do for a couple days till I get everything ready. Hey, you, Red Cup. She knows I'm talking about her. But anyway, she come running back in. I got the bucket out that I feed them a little bit of grain with, and she came running up. She was actually way down there. So that's what we're working on right now. All right, we got that one up. Fixing to get rained on. So, oh God, I'm just gonna cut these. Tore down my temporary. Nice, good job, Dave. Excellent work. And we'll go to the barn lot and see if we can drive these inside the barn. All right, we got in here just in time. You know, it's fun carrying 2 8-foot copper rods in a thunderstorm. Here come the cows, so I'll give them something to eat. They're gonna come up here, I'll give them something to eat. Oh, it's raining hard now. I don't know how good the sound is inside the barn. It's loud on the roof. Nice little thunderstorm we're having here. Like I said, we had about over a half-inch of rain yesterday. Blowing the trees over there. It is a downpour now. Taking a dump. Need some gutters on this thing, I guess. This is what I got temporaried up. The controller is up there for now. I'm gonna move it to the barn. I've got this poly wire running around here, and it's really just to keep the cows out of this laydown yard. I got a bunch of crap that I'm gonna move out this winter, but they were getting all in it, and I was afraid they were gonna get hurt, step on a nail or something. So I put up this poly wire to keep them out of that area. And so I got power to here, and I've just hooked a temporary wire and run it down and hooked it up to the main fence, the high tensile fence, 5 acres. And so far it's worked. The white-faced cow, you can't see her now, she's up there, was constantly getting out, and the solar power just wasn't enough. So we're gonna unhook it here. So yeah, they don't like it now that I got a lot more juice on there. Well, the cows finally figured out I gave them some new grass. They followed me down here this morning. I actually came out here first thing this morning and moved them, gave them this paddock, but they hadn't realized, which is odd because half the time they won't come down here, and half the time they come down here so fast I can't put up the temporary fence fast enough to keep them from moving to where I don't want them to move. So this morning I actually took them up to the barn, gave them some sweet feed to keep them occupied, and closed them up in there and come down here and moved them, so I didn't have to worry about them getting somewhere where I didn't want them to be, which they did yesterday. They actually ended up having this whole section because they came down here too fast and I couldn't keep them out, and I tried to get them back and they ran around like a bunch of idiots, because they are. And so there, so I closed up as much as I could that way and gave them that far in, and they stayed on it all day yesterday. So the rain we've had from Ida has really helped. It's hard to tell, but there's a lot of new grass and stuff growing out here. We hadn't had any rain since Fred, which was like 10 days ago. So anyway, what I'm doing is I'm trimming this section of fence. My plan is this winter to open this up where I can bring the tractor on the backside of this fence and have a wide enough path to bush hog all along the backside of the fence. And then I'll still have to spray the very bottom rung. And I'm gonna redo the electric fence. Right now I got the bottom one, which is only about 8 inches off the ground, and then skip one and then the next one. But I'm actually gonna electrify these two in the middle. I think that's gonna be better. And then the fence I built over here, I'm actually not gonna put one that close to the ground. I'm gonna raise them up so it comes up a little bit higher. I don't think I need one right next to the ground like that. So anyway, I'm gonna trim this little section of these weeds, get them off the fence, and that's it for today. All right, you guys wanna hear a joke? Here's how it goes. One day this gentleman was accused of having relations with a farm animal, and he was real worried about it, and he was concerned, so he was asking around for people, and finally he talked to one fella, and the fella said, you know what, same thing happened to my cousin. He's like, he had a great lawyer, best juryman in the state. He's like, no matter what you're accused of, he's gonna find you a sympathetic jury. It's gonna cost you a lot of money. The guy said, man, whatever it takes. whatever it takes to get out of this. So he went and met with a lawyer. The lawyer said, you know what, it's gonna cost you $10,000, but I get you off. He said, well, I don't want to admit to anything, but what if I told you, you know, it was true? He said, don't matter. He said, I'm gonna get you off. He said, all right. So he ponied up the money. Trial came. He got up on the stand, and the prosecutor said, Mr. Watkins, can you tell us what happened on the day in question? He looked over his lawyer, and his lawyer said, tell him. He said, well, I was out in the field working on the fence, and nature called, and I had to use the bathroom. And while I was out there using the bathroom, I swear on your honor that that goat backed into me. And as soon as he said that, juror number 1 leaned over to juror number 2 and said, you know what? A good goat will do that. Anyway, on that note, I'm out of here. That's going to do it for this week. If you guys want to see more, or if you don't want to see more, you can still like the video and subscribe to the channel. Weather's cooling down. It's a lot nicer out here. Last week it was like 95 and sweltering. This week it's in the low 80s, low humidity. It's real nice out here. Got a good fall sky. But yeah, I would appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribed, and I'll see y'all later.